Let's learn how to add shaping counters to a piece. I recommend watching the Intro to Smart Counters tutorial before beginning this session. Shaping counters are used to keep track of additional instructions such as shaping, placing buttonholes, changing yarn colors, etc. Here, we have a right front for a sweater. While we're knitting our cable pattern, we also need to begin waist shaping on row 5 and start placing buttonholes on row 7. We will use shaping counters to add reminders for these instructions to appear as we move the one-tap marker. Here we have the main pattern instructions. We need to add a shaping counter for our waist shaping and placing buttonholes. It doesn't matter if our instructions are written or charted, as long as the piece has a one-tap marker. To begin, tap Setup. Tap the Smart Counter button bottom right. Here in Smart Counters, we can set some basic information about our piece. To add a shaping counter, tap the blue plus and select Shaping Counter. We will name our shaping Waist Shaping, and I'll set its color to red. Our instructions say to start our shaping on row 5, so I will enter row 5. If we needed to start at a specific distance, such as 4 inches from the cast on, we could enter a manual start reminder instead. The step is where the instructions will go, so tap the step inside the shaping counter to edit it. I'll call this step Decrease. The instructions say to do this every 2 rows 8 times, and the instructions are to decrease 1 stitch at the end of the row. I can type that in, or I could crop it from the PDF. For now, I'll just type it in. If I needed to start increasing again once my decreases were done, I could add another step to this counter. Steps always happen in order. The first finishes before the second step starts. Instead, my instructions say to start placing buttonholes at row 7, which means I need to do waist shaping at the same time as I place buttonholes. To do parallel instructions, that is, instructions that happen at the same time, we need a second shaping counter. I'll tap the blue plus and select Shaping Counter. I'll name this counter Buttonholes and make it purple. The instructions say to start on row 7. I'll select the first step. The instructions say to repeat this every 10 rows, a total of 9 times. These instructions are more complex than my waist shaping, so I will crop them from the PDF. To do this, I will select Piece for my step instructions. Tap the blue plus to add a piece. I'll pick page 1 and crop my instructions. I can add highlights and notes to these instructions if needed. Tap the arrow upper left to return to main setup. It doesn't matter if your instructions are written or charted, the steps to adding shaping counters are the same. When you're ready to start knitting, tap Knit. Here we can see our piece. As I advance my one-tap marker, I can see my first waist shaping appears on row 5. I check it off and continue to advance. Here on row 7, I have both a waist shaping and buttonhole reminder at the same time.